Hello, this is Benjamin, reporting for State of the Meta. This is going to be the first episode, and so let's just get started. Our first topic for today is that the Smash Ultimate Summit list has been finalized. These 11 players will be attending the tournament. We have Tempo Zero, Fox MVG Mewtwo King, GW Zachary, E United Samsora, Liquid Dabuzz, Echo Fox MVG MKLeo, NRG Nairo, CLG Void, A Armada, and TSM Leffen. So my thoughts on the actual invitees list, I think that players like Mewtwo King, Leffen, and Armada probably didn't deserve their spots, but were just invited because of their popularity in the Melee scene. Zero can arguably be taken out of this list just because he hasn't made huge strides in the meta yet. He's been performing not too well in tournaments, and he's been going through character crisis, recently picking up Wolf. But other than that, I'm pretty sure everyone here has earned their spot on the list. Next up, we're going to talk about what I believe is to be one of the most used characters in the Smash Ultimate meta right now, being Wolf. Plenty of top players have started to pick up Wolf as their main. Zero, most notably, has picked him up. The best player in Japan, Zachary, who's 16 by the way, plays Wolf at a high level, and arguably one of the best players right now in North America, Tweak, has a either secondary or tertiary character being Wolf. Wolf, I believe, is just one of those characters that is going to be a holdover for a lot of players until maybe a character that really resonates with them, possibly in DLC, comes around. However, I do think Wolf is an amazing character and probably going to be top 8 in tier lists coming up just because of his high results and his ease of use. And there's really not much else to say about Wolf. His combos are great. He's basically Smash for Sheik, but kills a heck of a lot easier. And honestly, his only downside is his recovery, which if you're really good, then you're probably going to not mind having a straightforward recovery. Next thing I'd like to talk about is one of the matchups that I'm really interested in watching as the meta develops, being the Pikachu Fox matchup. And we've seen ESAM and Light matching up multiple occasions. ESAM and Light have played each other at Genesis. They recently played Grand Finals of Ultimate Nimbus. I'll probably have Ultimate Nimbus footage on the screen up in the corner, but it was such a great match, back and forth. Unfortunately, ESAM choked at the end of the game, but it's really obvious by both players that the knowledge of these characters and these matchups are developing, and I personally feel like ESAM versus Light is going to turn into one of those events to see. You'll hear about this amazing match that's coming up, and it's going to be ESAM versus Light just because of how much that matchup goes back and forth. I'm confident in saying that it's probably the most balanced matchup in the game, besides pinning the exact same characters against each other, but that's obviously going to be even. I think that Fox just does such a great job with coming back, putting up damage, getting kills easily, and Pikachu, honestly, probably, in my opinion, a top 5 character, very underrated due to just Pichu in general existing. But lightning loops going from 0 to 50, spiking down air, can edge guard extremely well. Those are all great tools to use against Fox, and Fox just is able to play so well against Pikachu due to Fox's amazing anti-airs and just ways to get in and rack up damage and get kills. And I'm really excited to see how this matchup develops in the future. So next I'd like to go over who I believe is getting better in the meta. This could be just because of new discoveries or who I think has the most potential to actually go higher in tiers, not due to buffs, because I can't predict which characters are going to get buffed, but I believe some of the characters that are improving a lot right now are Captain Falcon, just because of how much Fatality has been pushing that character. If you saw at Frostbite 2019, Fatality had an amazing match against a really great Rob player. He just showed how much Captain Falcon, despite his changes to his down throw not comboing into anything very well anymore, but he still showed that Captain Falcon is very viable, and I think that he's just going to end up discovering a bunch of new techniques. There was something on Twitter a while ago about an amazing way to get back on stage involving wall jumps, side B. Honestly, great tool. I think it's not being utilized right now, but I'm not a Captain Falcon player, so what do I know about this? Some of the other characters that I think are going to be improving are Greninja, just because at Frostbite, Greninja had an amazing showing, and it really just completely shook people's perspectives on Greninja. I don't think anyone in their mind thought at the beginning of the game that Greninja was terrible, but Japan has been preaching that Greninja is a top 5 player, is a top 5 character for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure that now there are going to be a ton of US players who start picking up Greninja, as well as European players, and they're just going to develop this meta even further. They might even find some jab locks with Shuriken air stalling, shadow sneaks in doubles. That could honestly have a lot of possibilities. And then the third character I want to talk about is Young Link. Young Link was never a bad character, but until now I've heard mostly stuff about Link, and seeing Tweak's performance in Frostbite doubles, taking the tournament from doubles against ECM MVD in losers, it was an amazing set, and I think that Young Link is objectively a better Link and going to show that in the coming years as the meta develops. Now, as for who I think is getting worse, King K. Rool was a character that everyone knew was going to be worse. I used to play King K. Rool, but I don't like playing him anymore just because he feels so clunky. His moves feel so weird. He only is effective when a player doesn't know how to deal with projectiles. You've all seen that side B blunderbuss combo that works on every casual player. It's kind of a meme at this point how bad King K. Rool is. And it doesn't help that the developers really don't see that he isn't a good fighter. They just keep on nerfing him, which doesn't help his meta at all. And speaking of which, he pretty much has no combos right now. His down tilt, yeah, but berries have been nerfed. Same thing with down throw. The only thing that I really can think about is perhaps maybe up throw could become the new combo throw. I remember trying to experiment with that, and I found up throw to back air works at around 45%, but it's only on stage, so it's not super useful. I also think that Sheik, just because of her damage output being insignificant and pretty much non-existent, is a big problem. And then also Kirby and Donkey Kong. I see Donkey Kong as a basically worse version of Bowser. I'm not saying that Donkey Kong is bad in any sense, but I really think that the heavies of choice now should be maybe King Dedede. If you're real, I'm talking about super heavyweights, so Wario, Samus, Yoshi, those don't really quantify in my list. But probably Ganon, Bowser, who I think is pretty good right now. Bowser, Ganon, Incineroar I think is probably one of the best super heavyweights right now, just because of how much combo potential this character has. And I think that with the right adaptations to the meta, for example, bringing in a new stage choices, and just overall actually having Incineroar players push this character to its heights, I don't see Donkey Kong players really moving anywhere aside from this. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the stage meta. I've seen plenty of stage lists, stage counter picks, what stages are viable. I'm not super big on all this talk about instantly banning every stage. For example, Mewtwo King made a video a while ago talking with Salem about what stages he'd like to see in the meta, and he made a ton of great points in the sense that this meta isn't going to develop as well if we have a very restrictive stage list. So that's why I think that the next addition to our stage list has to be either Castle Siege, WarioWare, or Rainbow Cruise, Hazard's Off, for the sole reason because they're all small stages. A great meta can't revolve around large and medium stages. It has to have a well-balanced list of small stages so that players can't just bring a character that's good with medium and large stages and then instantly ban every small stage because there's only one of them. It's not how that's not how the meta works. That's not how counterpicking works. You actually have to have some sort of equilibrium point where there's this amount of stages that are good for this kind of character, and then there's this amount for another character. And so the bans go either way, and either you choose to play at disadvantage or you choose to play at a neutral stage, which I'm pretty sure right now it's objectively not happening right now, and it's going to hurt the longevity of heavyweights if it's not solved in the near future. Thank thank you for tuning into the video. If you like the video, if you like the concepts, consider subscribing. Hit that like button. Share this video around. See if it can gain traction, maybe in the Smash Bros. Community. Or if you just appreciate talks like this, then honestly, constructive criticism is probably the best thing that I can get right now. And I'll see you guys in the next video.